You're listening to the Weekend Sport Podcast with Jason Pine from News Talk ZB.
To the NRL we go. Round 9. The Warriors are in Newcastle, where they'll face the Knights at McDonald Jones Stadium from 4 o'clock this afternoon. Second time these two have met this season after their clash at Mount Smart back in round 4.
Warriors making a strong start to the second half. Now Harris Kavita with the kick. Dash here for Marcelo Montoya, but the crowd are going to go home happy here. Second win of the season coming up for the Warriors. Hasn't been easy, but it's a gutsy effort from both teams.
Warriors assistant coach Stacey Jones joins us out of Newcastle. Thanks for taking the time on match day, Stacey, for a chat. You've had a 10-day turnaround since your last game. So how helpful was that, and how have you spent that time?
Yeah, no, it certainly has come at a good time for us, Jason. We after the Titans game, we gave the group 3 days off just to freshen up, and certainly needed it. So. And then we were given the opportunity to sort of have, 3 days on the field of doing stuff rather than, one full training and then maybe a half training. So we've, been able to, recharge the bodies and put a bit of coaching into the group. So it's been pretty valuable time for the group.
So 3 games without a win. Have you been able to put your finger on the main reasons things haven't gone quite so well recently?
Yep, it's pretty easy. We just haven't been able to control the ruck, Jason. And that's a big part of winning footy games. Of being strong defensively, making sure that you get good control of the play the balls of the opposition. And they've come inside our 20 and have seemed to been able to break our defensive line quite easily. So we've got to certainly get that part of our game right, and then. We feel we get that. The rest of the game will take care of itself. We scored 24 points against the Titans, and scoring 24 points should win your game of footy. So we certainly focused a lot on that ruck control part of the game.
So when you are coaching that ruck control, what sort of things are you coaching in that scenario?
It's more that sort of first up contact, and we haven't. To be fair, Jason, we haven't been able to do a lot of that. In short turnarounds of games, and that's physical. It's a real physical part of the game, and you've got to practice it. We've got to be able to make sure we get bodies on bodies and that at training, and really focus the mind, and that's the coaching part of it. And we probably haven't been able to do that because of short turnarounds. We can't get out there and flog the players after a couple of days just off the field, and then we turn off the field of playing a game and then straight into the next game. So. That's probably the big thing where we probably haven't been able to practice it as such. So, we're pretty confident that we get that right. We'll be okay.
In terms of the players, I think 8 players have been selected to start every one of your 9 games. So you're confident you've got the right players out there?
Oh, look, we've got players that are on the sideline that we'd like to be able to pick. I'm sure Murata Nuakure we'd like to have him on the field. Jazz Tavanga would like to have him on the field. Who else is on the sideline? Luke Metcalf, Chanel Tavita Harris. So, you say 8 players is consistent. I think you want to have 12, 13 players that you're going to be able to pick the same every week. And we don't have that luxury. The game doesn't have that luxury. It's a physical game, A lot of teams going through injury phases, and I reckon the teams that are having a lot of injuries seem to struggle a little bit. The teams that are consistent with their selections that don't have that, they seem to be going pretty good. So we're hoping that we're going to get that consistency with the same team week in, week out, and then you can put together some good performances. So, but there's certainly some cattle on the sideline that we'd love to be able to pick. And we're fortunate we got Bunty, fullback, and Kurt Capel, a couple of real experienced players and players that will. Are real defensive players, so they'll do a good job for us.
Yeah, I was going to ask about Kurt, obviously new to the club this season, back after missing last week's game against the Titans. Can you tell us in general terms what he's brought to the Warriors, Kurt Capewell?
Yeah, he's had a bit of an up and down time here at the moment because of the injuries that he's had. So, once he gets over the injuries, he had rib problems earlier on in the season. Then he had a head knock, and then he had a really bad knock to his throat a couple of weeks ago against the Dragons. So he's been hampered by a bit of stuff through his body. But what he brings is certainly the experience part of the game to this group, and certainly well respected amongst the players of what he does. And he's a real effort player, and that's probably part of the game that we've missed a little bit with things like kick pressures and again that ruck control stuff that Kurt's really strong at.
And Bunty R4, as you say, he'll be, I'm sure, chomping at the bit to get back out there. He's good to go for some minutes this afternoon. You're keen to see him back out there?
Yeah, we are. I mean, everyone is keen to see Bunty back on the field, and again, the presence he has within the group, the way he carries the footy, and also the way he whacks people in defence is something that we're going to need from Bunty today. So exciting to see Bunts back in the group.
You've already played the Knights once this season, Stace, a 20-12 win back in round 4. Is there anything from that game that's relevant in this one?
You take certain parts out of it because there's a lot of players that played that night in Auckland that we're playing against today, and likewise with us. So, but that is in the past. But you can pick up little things really of the way how players carry the ball, and if they've got any deficiencies in their game, especially in defence. So you pick those things up, but that they'll try and they would have watched the game last time we played them. Likewise, we with them, and we'll try and fix the problem areas and try and expose the areas that we want to expose them in.
They're missing Kalen Ponga, of course. Terrific player. Is that one less thing that you need to worry about when you assess their threats?
Yeah, it is. He's certainly a key player for them, but the player that they brought in seems to be a little bit of a Kalen Ponga clone, really. He's very quick. Dave Armstrong, the way he brings the ball back. He's a bit of an unknown, but we know he's very quick along the ground. So we're going to have to make sure that when we kick the ball down to them, that we're going to have a good defensive kick chase line. So. I know, but Kalen is a big loss for them, but they're bringing in someone who's doing a pretty good job.
And just to finish, has it been at all a challenge to keep spirits high during this little mini period, or do you still sense a confidence around the playing group?
No, we're all pretty good. I think the 3 day, the long turnaround and the 3 days off to reset, recharge the batteries a bit has been a really good thing for the group, and again, getting a couple of players back, and then in a couple of weeks' time, we might get some more players back. But the spirits in the group is really good, really high. Coming over to Newcastle, and we're here for the week. After this game, we stay for the Roosters game. So it's a good time to connect a bit more as a group and try and string together some good performances.
Good man, Stace. Appreciate you taking the time for a chat. All the best against the Knights this afternoon.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks, Jason. Cheers, bud.
No, thank you, mate. That is Stacey Jones, assistant coach, about to head off to the ground. 4 o'clock kickoff this afternoon, McDonald Jones Stadium, a rather wet McDonald Jones Stadium, I understand, this afternoon, as the Warriors try to turn around a winless run. The 22-all draw with Manly back in mid-April, followed by the loss to the Dragons, and then the defeat by the Titans on Anzac Day. They've had the 10-day turnaround.
For more from Weekend Sport with Jason Pine, listen live to News Talk ZB weekends from midday or follow the podcast on iHeartRadio.